Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to my press conference. Going to take a look at my side in a minute. Not a bad week from Shorty. Finally delivered something reasonable. It's been a pretty lean run over the last few weeks for much of the season, fair to say. But a bit better. I've been trading pretty hard. I'm down to 17 already. But that was a focus of mine. After a bad start, I thought I may as well throw caution to the wind, trade hard and see if I can catch up a little bit. So if we go to how it all went, obviously a good score, cracked 2,300 for the first time, really good. I mean, it's probably my first or best score since round one. Started the season well, opening week, and since then it's been, mediocre or dropping. So, good to be back in the top 20,000. That's nice. Moved up 7,000 spots, so I'll be looking to keep climbing, and we'll take a look at where I really did well and how the team panned out. Jake Lloyd, how about that? Unbelievable score. I mean, a couple of weeks back I was questioning his selection. I was thinking, gee whiz, I'm not so sure if he's the man to really have the ceiling to really get a premium numbers consistently, but he's turned out two really big scores and 173. Amazing stuff. Sicily, tough day for the Hawks. Laird, really good again. He always is. Savage was really solid. That was good to see. Rice, I fielded Rice, so I traded him in. I don't think Isaac Cumming went overly well, so I think that went reasonable. Sam Murray, he's struggling a bit. I mean, he's probably right at that threshold where you'd say he probably needs to be traded. I'll just have to assess, where I can go with him. I'll talk about another fellow who'll probably be on the out in a second, but yeah, just a couple of things to think about in terms of those guys and whether they're really about to drop or, trying to get them at their top price. And the midfield was real good. 500, Dangerfield, really good. Tough day for the Cats, but he was one of the guys who really kept cracking in and trying. Cripps, unbelievable stuff. He's having an amazing year. Mitchell, captained him, really good, really pleasing, so that was great. Martin, was solid. He's certainly not in the best form at the moment. He's just getting there, but, we'll take a ton. Cornelio, not too bad. And Merritt was back to some really good form. So that was good to see, particularly for a couple of guys who've been down. Martin, Merritt. Good to get a captaincy option locked in too, because I have the last couple of weeks not absolutely nailed it, so that always helps a lot. And Gawn just keeps doing what he does. Steph Martin. I should have mentioned Tim Kelly. He was the guy I was going to mention. So he struggled, obviously. And real interesting, I'll talk about it in a minute when I talk about my trades, but real interesting thought process with him. So, yeah, Martin not up to his best, but still played pretty well. McLean, consistent. Heaney, good. I thought Smith would have scored better, but still take it. Solid scores from Fritz, Petrarca, and Guelphy. You'll take that as well. So, in terms of the bench, Spargo, Henry, just ticking along. Banfield, Caulfield sort of doing what they do. Just your sort of 40 to 60s most weeks. And Murphy came back. So hopefully a few of those guys hold their spots and keep scoring, and particularly hold their spots because we want as many guys playing as we can through the bye period. But yeah, look, really pleasing. I've had some weeks where I've, been recording this and been thinking, oh, I really can't be bothered or don't want to be talking about this because I've had another crap week. So it is nice to have a decent week, and hopefully we can build and continue to have some good form. I mean, I have traded hard, and that's reflective of my team at the moment. I should be going well when you've used nearly half your trades. Tim Kelly, I might be trading him. I know that might be a little, trigger happy, but he is priced really well, $4.30. Now, the train of thought is a lot of people be saying, well, he can just stay at M8, get rid of some other guys who are struggling, rah. But I think in terms of him being a money maker, he's peaked. I think we know that. He dropped in money. And I think it might be really handy to have a real treasure chest of coin going into the buys just to make a few moves. And I'm just worried about where I'm going to get my coin because, Kelly at some point's going to go. I've always been of the belief that while he's been averaging high 90s for much of the season, at some point that will peg back to high 80s, early 90s, because he will tire. I think when the Cats' big four midfielders are in, he'll naturally not average as high. So what I'm trying to say is eventually he'll be traded. So my thought process is that probably the most efficient trade is to let him go. Now that might hurt my scoring in the short term, potentially, because a lot of people would look to just trade out Banfield or Caulfield or someone else to make some coin because they're not going as well. But I think Kelly can be a really, really good option to go down. Gets me, 300k, and then I can really think about going, Murray to potentially Simpson or Hurley when he comes back. That could be something I do. Or, as I've said previously, fix up that forward line. Now, Fritz is going really nicely, but look, you'd have to think, probably not just yet, because those guys are just sort of ticking over the 200k with Spargo and Guelphy. But I think Henry might be the guy. He's now coming off a 35 and a 56. So, potentially his break even, because he had that 114, and he hasn't backed it up with great scores. So potentially that could be something I look at. If I just take a quick little gaze here as to who I can get. I was looking at Walters, as you guys know. He'll continue to drop a little bit. I mean, Robbie Gray had a poor one. So, hopefully for me, he might just have, a couple of 90s over the next few weeks and get to somewhere around your high 400s. So that could be something. So I would say, in terms of trading, the only one I would be likely to do this week is probably Kelly. Have I scrolled past him? Might have scrolled past him, did I? Yeah, so potentially Kelly down. And then I can look at trading these other guys at a later period because you've got that money there. So there's Walters, 424k. That's something to think about, isn't it? So, yeah, I'll assess it because I'm sort of looking at Green, I'm looking at Gray, I'm looking at Walters, Franklin is around the mark as well. So, it's food for thought. I'll have a think about it and see how we go. But I do think the most efficient trade would be Kelly. He can net me some huge coin. I can get 2 upgrades from that. I can probably go Henry to a premium and a Murray to someone else as well. The trouble is I'm going to have to really stretch when I got to upgrade my 8th midfielder. So that'll be the key. It might be Sloan. We'll see how Sloan goes over the journey. But, yeah, we'll deal with that when it comes. I think most likely if I can upgrade everything else around it, get those, particularly the forward line, I need to get sorted. And we'll see how we go. But, yeah, look, thanks for tuning in, guys. Good to talk to you after a reasonable week. Hope you had a decent week as well. I'll be back pretty soon. I'll be doing the weekend preview as I always do. And hopefully a few more videos like I did the other week. So hopefully you enjoyed that. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.